Did Mankalin acknowledge your president where UDM, General Bantu Olomesa, and I'll kule. Ndibulise isikhokelo sephondo eslap. Ndibulise uprogram director wethu Comrade Stole. Ndibulise zonke inkokheli zezigqeba ngokwahlukeneyo namasebe e-UDM nomuntu wonke olapha ngaphakathi na ndibulise ne-members of the media. Mine, I think, is a very simple task. I'm supposed to speak here about the non-existent state of the South African economy. I don't even think that there is an economy to speak of in the first place. Why am I saying that? It is because the South African economy as it is a pact and an agreement phakathi kwabantu abangosambunzunzu who went to a separate corner and came up with a policy that they think should be used to run the country. And the first issue for us all the time is to say that whatever policies they've adopted, zininzi, ziliwak, have no legitimacy for as long as these policies, as has been an input from various stakeholders, nabantu ngokuhlala in South Africa. So from where we're sitting, South Africa is on autopilot. Kumane nje kuba kwi ministers that wake up and come up with things about the South African economy. I want to frame it ngokuthetha firstly about the state of the local government, in particular municipalities. Recently, former Minister of Finance, Utito Mboweni, said something very telling about the state of local government. He said, out of the 278, 163 are in financial distress, the municipalities. 40 of them can't even deliver services, basic services to the people. 102 of them adopted budgets that they can't even afford. Now, it speaks to the heart and challenges of leadership as Koyo kubantu aba deployed by the governing party to run omasipala bethu in South Africa. But also consider one issue. Umai Broadband did a report, a study where they were looking at intoba kule wasteful and irregular expenditure kayo komasipala at local government level. Kuba we are going to elections, the local government. How much of it has gone to irregular and wasteful expenditure? Guess Imalin. 186 billion South African rands is the amount of money that over the last 10 years we have wasted. Add to that the 500 billion South African rands which has been lost to state capture. Add to that the fact that in the year 2019-2020 alone, municipalities, those were able to report. Remember, kukwi municipalities incwadi zabo that are in a state that they can't even report ukuthi bayenze ntoni imali iyabiwa kuphela. U-Auditor General uMaluleke speaks of 1 billion South African rands that has been spent on consultants. And these consultants are supposed to help uMasipala to prepare e-books for the auditors. But you have chief financial officers. You have people who are paid high salaries for being financial managers of municipalities. The problem with the South African situation is that firstly, at local government election level imali that is allocated for izidingo zomasipala kuba omasipala abaninzi bethu ezilalini abanayo ability to raise revenue, unlike metros nabasedolophini. What then happens is uyafumanisa ukuthi ayiyona 10% imali lesi allocate by parliament that goes to municipalities. Now, if uza komasipala bethu balapha ezilokishini abezilalini gxeba abahluphekile abafana Raymond Hlaba nezinye apha abantu bengakwazi nokubhatala inkonzo uthi mabayithathe phi imali yokwenza inkonzo first and foremost nokuzisa inkonzo ebantwini. Itsawugqiba emveni koko ithi incinci imali ityiwe ingene kwi-salaries nezinye problems. Now, that's the issue and the problem ke esinayo in South Africa. But I want to talk briefly about the social unrest. the riots which took place recently in KZN and parts of Gauteng province. You know, when riots affect white people's businesses, then there's miraculously money ebesingayaz bikhona ekhoyo 32 billion rands yafakwa ngokuthiwa masincede ezi businesses zizibhele out. I want to give you an example. In 2008, there was a flare-up of xenophobic violence in South Africa. Businesses were destroyed indiscriminately in the townships. Did SASRA came to the rescue of black people? No. In 2015, the same thing happened. Did SASRA come to the rescue of the people? Or government say we are going to bail you out? No. Why? Because this is not a government that cares ngabantu bakuthi. It's a government that takes care of abantu abanezinto nabangcono. I want to give you another example. Kuthiwa makunikwe uSASRA imali ukuze azokwazi ubail out companies. But kunikwe companies zabantu abamhlophe that don't even employ our people. As companies that on a daily basis what they do is to exploit our people, which is foreign nationals. They don't employ foreign nationals because they like them. They employ foreign nationals because into abayifunayo is to maximize profits at the expense of the poor, which is exploitation. Now, we are saying, City UDM, you are bailing out Ababantu to the tune of 32 billion rands. I know part of it went to social grants, but you have no conditions. You are not saying this is what we expect from you. We are not saying employ locals, support up-and-coming small businesses. It says location. We don't say that because bamhlophe it's free for all. The other option opinto ibuze is intoba if unikeza abantu le mali uthi abantu bakuthi bafanele covered ngoSASRA. USASRA, by the way, many people do not know that insurance ukuthi yayisetwa apha ngabelungu after the 1976 riots, Soweto uprising. So it was set up by white people to protect themselves against black violence. And now you expect abantu abamnyama abangazange bafundiswe ngoSASRA, right? Ukuthi bakwazi uba covered kuSASRA. Uthatha imali eninzi uyoyifaka phana uyikhuphe ungazoyifaka kubantu bakuthi ubanike 3.9 billion nezinye imali, but as businesses ngekho covered azifumani into. And all of these businesses operate at a local government level. One of the issues which concerned us a great deal, for instance, as I now transition to corruption, is that when ingabantu abamnyama abathathayo and the poor bewuthatha izinto kuthiwa balutile ivenkile, we can't condone looting. Court case akwenziwa ne-cases ku-investigate kujonga uba ngubani bekuvele kungenwe nje kuthiwe kutheni amaqanda amabini angekavulwa, kuthiwe sawuthatha eli uzawushiyeka neliyi-1, kuthiwe iphi receipt yegrocery yakho ya last month. Uba unayo ireceipt kuzawuthatha ukutya kuhambe kuyotshiswa nishiywe nabantwana nilambile. Ngurhulumente ongakhathaliyo lowo. Ayingekho futhi bengurhulumente we-United Democratic Movement. But consider a situation where a politician nomuntu ophezulu highly connected uba imali babili corruption ANC kwi-state capture batyile baqhuba i-Range Rover bahlala emasentini bahlala kwiindawo ezifensi bashiya abantu kwiindawo ezihluphekileyo. Akukhange kucuthwe nespeliti sabo. In fact, kwa umongameli lona ndimve emncoma utshomi wakhe kule nto yethenda le digital vibes esithi usebenzile. Usebenze ntoni ebeyimali? Now, i-corruption apha kuya ngokuthi yenziwa ngubani. Uba yenziwa ngootshomi ubozibani bani bayajongwa. The other thing which you must consider, why all the time when companies zisiba? Because corruption yenzeka both in the private and public sectors. And usually what happens in the public sector, it is aided by someone in the private sector. But whenever it sends again the public sector, 9 times out of 10, if the ANC ngumntu governing party ukwi-factional right akazubanjwa. Ubukwi-factional wrong uzawubanjwa. Kodwa ubukwi-private sector kuzaw-explore what you call alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. Ube imali ungabanjwa kuze kuthiwe uzawubhatala ifine. Ungumlungu ke once wenze loo nto eSouth Africa. Ubumnyama uzawubanjwa. Ubukwi-factional wrong okanye awukho kwi-ruling party. Ubukwi-factional right uzawunconywa ngumongameli athi usebenzile adelay ne-release report because ekhusela iitshomi zakhe. Those are the kind of problems we have, and the president as a teta apa uzawungena agxile kwi-corruption outline in a program UDM, but Tina okwethu is to say what are the fundamentals, the basics that we need to do right. His campaign slogan said, if my memory serves me right, 2016 local government elections, back to basics. We had a campaign slogan, back to basics. What's going to ensure that Sabaphumelelo Masipala is if we go back to basics, we interact with the communities, sibaxelele without fear or favor what is wrong with South Africa. Ayizusinceda into nice sounding speeches and platitudes and political rhetoric when zonke idolophu zethu zitshabalala. Mthatha lo sikuwo uphelile uchabalele iqonce imonti zonke nje indawo zalapha ingathi kukwangcono ipigsty kwindawo esihlala kuzo kodwa masipala bakhona. I want to make one example. Ndizohlala phansi. uKate Matanzi mandiqinisekile lo nto ndidla ngombona ndisemncinci eTV nenkcenkceshela apha imithi yakhe main road is probably turning apha khoyo xa ebona le meko inje. Ugeneral obabephethe Mthatha wonke umuntu ezofunda apha ukuze kufunyanwe imfundo engcono ndiqinisekile inhliziyo zabo zibhlungu bakhulu labantu eMzantsi Afrika ukuze sihlale ebuhagwini thina abantu bamnyama sawugqiba sibaleke siye kwindawo zabelungu. Bonke bazishila ilokishi bazishila ilali abahlela ngapha bahleli kwindawo zabelungu kuba bakwazi urane zabo lamasela. Mandla.
Thank you, Sekela Mongameli. Mongameli we-UDM kwaku nge-26 kaJulayi ngo-1996 apho umbutho omkhulu olawulayo eSouth Africa wawune choice yokukhetha phakathi kukaHolomisa necorruption.